Hey Cheetos and Iceman, how's it going? Damn, this thing don't want to come off. There we go. Hey, what's up, Raz? What kind of laptop you messing with? Can't help with that. If it was a MacBook, then I'd probably just buy the parts online and swap them in and out. Not a PC guy. I'm a Mac guy, so. Probably got like one little clip or screw that's messing you up. Why is it every time I start a damn stream I get spammed with all these comic book emails? Sorry, I don't know any Anthony's. Maybe they sent you the wrong part. That happens. It could be for like a newer model when you have a certain older model. Then again, it is a gateway. Who the hell knows what they're doing? Good thing this stuff is light. Otherwise this space would be heavy. Oh hell. It's been kind of quiet for like statues and the hobby, and not really much going on other than that Wolverine announcement. Hey, what's up, 234? How's it going? Just catching up on some Rogue statue. I gotta get this done. So I figured I'd start a little early today, get this going. Off the gloves now. Baby powder. What's the baby powder at? Alright. It's gonna be like an explosion, like I did with the previous Rogue. If you go on my YouTube channel, I did one a while back that was actually lost in the mail. I'll explain it a lot more in the video when I get this posted, but more or less I did the item for the client. It got lost in the mail. Somebody else ended up with it, but they wouldn't work with us, so we never got the original one back. So now somebody else donated, or he got a custom Rogue from somebody else, so I just sort of tweaked it, and now we're doing the base over again. It's a big hell of a debacle. If the person who ended up buying it on eBay would just work with us, we could have gave them the money they spent on it, but they were so worried about getting their money back from eBay, they just pretty much ignored us. Because we got the refund from the post office. Alien? Did I said that right? What do you mean? The music, yeah, it's a free, oil-free thing I sub to. Try not to blast it too much. Let's see. Probably should get a threw that piece away. Damn it! What did I do with the other one? Here it is. Finished up the Jubilee kit. I'm gonna edit the video on Sunday. Came out pretty good. I'm actually happy with it. Hey, raccoon. Hey, John. So is everybody ready for fall? Because down by me it's already getting colder and the leaves are coming down. Hey, fangirl. Ejection molding machine? Are they fairly cheap? Now I want the summer to stay. I don't like the cold. I gotta get one more day of molding and casting before it gets too cold, so, and then I can start getting this project prepped for the winter. So I have to get in the garage and get this done before it's just too cold to mold with resin. I gotta cut the grass one more time too. One more time, and then this way it won't grow anymore and I can just do leaves. Just never ends. Yeah, how did your resin printers work in the cold? Do you guys, can you actually not print in the cold if it's in your garage? Because I figure it would be just like regular 2-part resin, because you can't do that stuff below 62 degrees. Um, I learned my lesson the hard way, trying to do it in extreme cold, nothing worked. This piece already cured up. Do you guys have like a heater set up? This way if you do the cold, it yeah, this base is a little bit different from the last one I did, but similar. So we'll see how it works out. Trying to add a little bit more explosion stuff to it. Yeah, I don't know how, I think down here by me, if I was to try to do a 3D printer in the garage, it wouldn't work. Of course, that's my friend calling when he knows I'm streaming. I mean, I have a heater in my garage now, because I finally added one. But I guess I'm too close to the water. I don't know if it would work out well enough. Yeah, this resin that my friend Meta John's been using, so I've been testing this stuff more. Its stuff is so strong. I actually really like it a lot now. Well, when you say artifacts, what kind of artifacts? Just like kind of like weird little divots and stuff pop up, or? Oh, okay, layer lines, I got you. I thought maybe you were talking about like weird little, I don't know, I'm still learning as I go. My friend that prints out my stuff, we've been getting better with everything, so prints are looking good, the resin's coming out well, not many issues. So I'm pretty happy with this stuff lately. To Sinduko, hold on one second. So this is called freeform air. It's pretty much, it's really messy crap. Like, you gotta be very careful with this stuff. It gets very tacky, and it cures really fast. But if you wanted to do like a Power Girl base with clouds, it's called freeform air. It looks like marshmallow. So this is a gallon kit. So you have A and B. You mix them in equal amounts, and you got like the thicker it is, the faster it cures. So I'm gonna mix some up right now. Let me wash my hands. I gotta mix up a little bit more. It's very lightweight stuff and it's very strong, but it's not good for like doing super detailed stuff. But trying to do like clouds, or if you want to do rocks, or you want to do like a sand scenery, or if you want to create like grass or like dirt, this stuff is really good to use. But if you want to sculpt like onto a statue and sculpt an outfit, this stuff is not good to use. So let me wash my hands. We're gonna mix up some more because I'm trying to create like clouds, like an explosion. Hey, Scott. Alright, see, stuff really stays tacky in your hands. I'm not really fond of it for sculpting detail stuff, but you can use baby powder to make it not tacky if you use it with water. Now the only thing with this stuff, it's lightweight, so it's not heavy. So underneath here, if you go back to the beginning of the video or whatever, I have a lot of lead weights in here, and there's a lot of Aves epoxy sculpt on there, and then I'm sculpting this on top. So you need something to weigh it down if you want it the whole Power Girl. But so like I said, it's just marshmallow stuff. It's called. You can buy it from Smooth On. So you know it's very soft. You know, it's just kind of mushy. So you grab an equal amount from each container. And then if you sculpt it, like I'll sculpt this now, by probably 9 o'clock tonight it'll be fairly cured, but by tomorrow it'll be super cured. You could prime it, paint right over it, you can sculpt back onto it. It's pretty good. So you just have about equal amounts. And then basically what I do is I put a little bit of water on my glove. Now I don't know if you're supposed to use water with this stuff, but I use it anyway. But like I said, I use gloves to mix it because it gets really, really tacky. Now, if you mix it up, right? If we mix this up, if you leave this alone while you're working this thick, the thicker it is, the inside gets hotter and the faster it cures. So after you're done mixing it up, you want to keep it fairly thin for a while. Otherwise it'll cure up on you. It cures fairly fast. It doesn't take long for this to start hardening up, but it won't be super hard until tomorrow. Once I'm done working with this, I'll pull out an item in the garage that I use this on, and I'll show you. Now the reason why I put all this wax paper on here is because this stuff gets really, really tacky and it sticks everywhere, so I use the wax paper so I don't get it stuck all over my desk. And the reason why I use the saran wrap on the statues, because if you have any residue on your hands, you don't want to touch your item. But yeah, what you want to do is you want to make a armature, which is like a base and some heavy weights, and set up your Power Girl onto that base. And then from there, if you wanted to use this stuff for clouds or something, or if you wanted to make it look like she's floating over some rocks or a building, you know, you can kind of use this stuff. But you can see this gets really, really tacky because it just sticks all over the place. Now, if you want to, you can use baby powder. I got a thing of baby powder you can pour on this to stop it from being tacky if you want to sculpt on it. But the problem is if you want to stick this to this and you have baby powder there, it won't really stick as well. Yeah, the Power Girl from Sideshow, if that's the one you're talking about. Even mine, I'm planning on redoing the bases because she just stands too high. What I might do is, for two of them, I might cut the base and maybe lower the clouds and kind of retweak it. For another one, I'm actually going to create a whole new base for her. It's a little tricky, but yeah, so basically from there, what I like to do is keep it a little bit thinner instead of keeping it in a ball. And this stuff is pretty much kind of like starting to toughen up already, you know? So it cures up fairly fast. You don't have a lot of work time with it, but it's still good stuff to kind of, if you have it a little tacky, it'll bond. It's not, and it's fairly strong too. They claim that like this, like you can have it like this thick and put it on a, like kind of create like almost like a piece of plywood. And they said you can actually stand on it. It's so strong, but I've never tried that, so I don't know. Now, if you get a gallon kit from Smooth On like I got, it's just a matter of how much you want to spend in shipping. I don't think the Power Girl is gonna sag because I think they used a metal rod throughout the whole thing. So I'm pretty sure the Power Girl is secured. It's just that if you make a new base, you want to make sure you make something good. So what I would do with my Power Girls, I would create a rod to where I want her, and I would use eaves all over there to where I want the Power Girl to be, and then you can sculpt around that. Now, I haven't messed around with the Power Girl enough to make sure she doesn't like sag, but I'm pretty sure she won't. I mean, I like the base, I just didn't like how high it was. I think that was my problem with the base. It really didn't need to be 25 inches high, but it's alright. I'll when I'm ready to customize my Power Girls, I'm gonna tweak it out. I have an extra base from the first Power Girl from a custom. When I did the Giganta. So I'm actually thinking of using that base from the first one and sort of tweak it with the clouds and make it look like she stomped on the ground and floating above it. So that'll probably take her down a few inches to fit in the Besta. Masu, I hope I said that right. This is a freeform air from Smooth On. And you mix A and B together and you have about, I don't know. Depends on how fast you work and how thin you work. The thicker you work, the faster it cures. It's called freeform air from Smooth On. You mix A and B, it's foam stuff. It's very lightweight. It's good for clouds, it's good for making rock bases, scenery, like if you want to make a mountain, if you want to build an armature. So say you're working on something and you don't want to waste a lot of material, you can use this stuff as a base of it, you know. It's good to work with and it's bad to work with. It's very, very tacky. You can't really detail it up too much. I think Smooth On makes a chemical to like soften it or detail it. I've never picked it up. So I think there is something that Smooth On has for it. Yeah, you can sand this stuff pretty well. I have an item in the garage. I'm working with this stuff. I'll pop it out after I'm done with this base for a little bit. And I'll show you like what it's hard and what you can do with it. But yeah, you can sand it, you can Dremel it. It's very, very lightweight. It's strong, but it's lightweight. They did try to make a contender to go against Aves and Magic Sculpt, but the stuff was too, it wasn't very workable, so I don't know if they discontinued it. But this stuff is kind of like their go-to now. You should pick up a trial kit or something and mess with it just to get used to it. If you have any projects, that is. I like using it for bases and stuff like this. Because a gallon kit, which is A and B together, you get it used to be $90 a kit, so you have a big gallon kit of A and you have a big gallon kit of B, which is like the gray stuff here. It used to be like $90 plus shipping, which I think it went up because of the inflation. But for a gallon kit, mine lasted, the last one I had lasted me a year and a half on projects. So it lasts pretty well. If you go to, you know what, I'm gonna link it in chat. If you go to the actual site, Reynolds, which is like the offshoot of Smooth On, they actually sell it cheaper if you call them direct. I had one of the guys that come to that stop by my house once in a while. They actually told me if you call them direct, you'll get a better deal. So let me find this. So if you go to Reynolds.com or you call them up direct, you can order it from them, and from what I understand, they'll give you, it's a better deal than ordering it from Amazon. So it's worth a shot giving them a call and placing an order, or seeing how much an order is. They're in PA, so they're only probably like, probably if I was to drive to them, they would probably be like an hour and a half away to 2 hours maybe. I ordered a gallon kit of resin the other day, and literally in a day and a half it was here. So they're pretty good on shipping stuff out right away. Yeah, so the representative, the sale rep from Reynolds, he stops by my house once a year. Like if he'll do like travels around the tri-state area. He'll give me an email or call and saying, "Hey, I'm gonna stop by, show you some new products." And he was the one that said, "Just call Reynolds direct." And once in a while, he'll have like new stuff that they're testing out, and they'll give you a sample. So it's good to network them and talk to them. So yeah, so the reason why I wrap her in a saran wrap, because if I grab her with all this residue, it'll get all over your item. One thing about this stuff though, say you're gonna fill up a hollow container, like something like this, and there's only a little hole here. This stuff does expand a bit though, so it will kind of like start pouring out of your items. So you got to be careful with filling hollow items with this stuff. It seems to want to expand a bit. I don't know if it's. I never seen it expand on this open area, but when it's enclosed, I guess moisture wants to get out, so it sort of expands in like a something like that. So you got to be a little bit careful with if you're going to fill it with a hollow item. Well, if you think about it, this is actually Smooth-On's like chemicals that they also use for like resin. So it's probably got some of that resin material in it and sort of expands a little bit, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, just be careful. I've tried to fill an item the other day, and when I walked away and it came back, it started squeezing out like this part right here out of it. So I had to just kind of like cut it, and then it went away. I think it's just it didn't have enough air to kind of dry. It's good stuff. I think you guys would probably like it. So I'll show you. So what we'll do is we'll take some of this here. Alright. And then what we'll do is we'll take some baby powder. And then if you take the baby powder, and it'll still sort of kind of seep through the baby powder a bit, but it won't be as bad. But with the saran wrap there, it's gonna kind of save it. You could use some water back on there too if you need to. I always rather it stick to the saran wrap than actual stick to the item, so. It will destroy your brushes, so use old brushes if you're using them. Any old brushes or tools, it really likes to cake onto your items. Doesn't sag as much, but it will sag sort of. Once it starts curing though, it won't. You know, this could be a good idea for you guys. If you wanted to do the Power Girl, you can bring her down and you can make it look like an explosion underneath her feet. So you go something like this with it. Now, I have done a couple of my past sculpts where I've actually mixed beach from the sand with it. And you can get that, like, if you look at my Wonder Woman base that I made, which I'll pop out in a second, you can put sand in there. And the sand will help you give it, like, a little extra texture. And then once the cures up, you could just, like, brush the sand away. It's pretty good stuff. I like it. Yeah, if you do it and you work on a project, come back into a stream and let me know how it works out for you. Always kind of curious on how other people use it. I know some people love it and some people hate it. I just love it for filler stuff. Bases, stuff like this, filling in maybe a hollow item. Something where you don't have to burn a lot of good material. See, now this is starting to get like really hardening up in there, and it actually gets hot to your hand too. Be careful. It's not gonna like give you like a 3rd degree burn, but it will sneak up on you and get hot. So like if you put this in a ball and you let it sit for a little bit, and then you put your hand there, it will start to heat up on you. So try to keep it a little bit thin while you're working with it. But in here, if you put your finger here, you can feel a little bit of warmness. So the reason why I say that is because it feels like they're regular resin. So the regular resin actually like gets very, very hot when it cures. So it's kind of like the same material. And you can put Aves onto it. You can put Magic Sculpt onto it. You can prime it. You can chop it. You can do whatever you need to do with this stuff. It's pretty good. Yeah, so like right now I'm at the point now where it's like that's kind of as far as I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna like let it cure, and then what I'll do is I'll decide if I want to add some more explosions to it. But I kind of like where it's going. So if I was to add a little bit more the next day, what I would do is I would like hit it with a Dremel tool just to kind of give me a little bit of a notch, so I could throw a little extra piece there, you know. I kind of like the way that's looking compared to the one I did last time. Yeah, so I might add a little bit more, but I think it's good. So let me grab the Wonder Woman base while I have some here, and I'll show you what I can do with that. Let me wash my hands a little bit too. Throw a little piece here, and then we'll show you how this works. So I'll be taking pictures of this Wonder Woman base. Yeah. Alright. As for the Wonder Woman base, damn it, I didn't close this, did I? Let me see where I'm at. Alright. So what I did is, from my previous Wonder Womans, I actually glued a piece of wooden dowels. Well, actually, they're chopsticks, I think. So, I put a chopstick there, put a chopstick here, a chopstick there. And then what I did is after I glued them on, I did Aves around this area here. And then what I did is I rolled this stuff out, and I rolled it on top of here. And then what I've been doing is anytime I got filler junk, I've been filling in. So over here, the bottom, this yellow stuff is Durham's water putty. You can get this at Home Depot. You just mix it with water, so I just filled this area in over here. You know? Anything to sort of fill it in here without wasting a lot of material and getting too expensive. So this is good to just like roll out, and the reason why I notched it is because if I put more of this on there, I want to make sure that it bonds to it. You don't want to keep it too smooth. So if you grab our, where is it? It's back here somewhere. There we go. Don't tell me I need to buy more. Get more. What happened to my container? I had a container of sand. I think I used it all. No, there it is. There it is. I gotta go hit the beach again and get more sand. Yeah, so we got some Jersey sand here. Alright. So say I want to just kind of build this section here. So we can just take this, slap that on there like so, because I need to make room for the foot. Alright. So just throw some of that putty there. And this stuff, like I said, is pretty strong. It, you know, if you take your X-Acto blade and you try to cut it, it sort of cuts, but it doesn't cut as like that as you would think it is once you use it. So we'll grab one of these. So if you take some sand and you throw some sand on it, you can start kind of creating a rocky type base. No, as long as you prime it, no paints will really bother you with this. The only problem is I have never been able to sand this super smooth like Aves. So I don't. If you're trying to get like a super smooth surface, I'm not sure how well you'll get it. And what I did in the past with these Wonder Woman bases, I sort of kind of like just let the sand sort of kind of go into it, let it dry a little bit, and then like once it's done curing, you brush off the sand and you got sort of like a textured type of a base. I mean, I have to really sit here and sculpt this, but I'm just kind of showing you with some of the extra I got left. And then what happens, see, like you get a little bit extra and it doesn't really stick anymore. So some of it will brush off, some of it won't. But you can use water back on there. You can kind of get your water back into it, sort of kind of create it. And then you kind of create little notches, cracks, little divots for the rock, like it's broken. Just kind of keep playing with it. But this is a filler item for when I have extra material, and because I don't want it to look pretty, like it look broken. Now you don't have to use sand, you can use like pebbles, you can use rocks, you can use, if you find a better material than what I'm doing, you could do that. But I'm just trying to sort of kind of create it to make it look like it's a broken pillar. And it's kind of cracked. So you can kind of add stuff in here, or cracks like this. And it starts curing up fairly fast, and it'll start getting tougher on you. I love this stuff for doing this type of stuff, like broken rocks and broken pillars and bases. I use this on those rocks that I did for that one rogue in the Savage Land Rogue custom I did. Yeah, and pretty much that's kind of like how I would start doing all this broken rock stuff. You know, I gotta set my statue on here first with her feet, and once I get the feet set up, because I'll probably put some Aves here, I'll put some Aves here and get her situated, and then right there I'll work around it. And then what I'll do is tomorrow I'll brush off all this sand, I'll hit it with a vacuum, and then I'll start working on more, you know. So that's kind of how you can use it with sand. Fairly simple, just kind of mess with it, you know, just hit it with any kind of tool. And if you can't see what you're doing, you can brush it off. And it's starting to harden up pretty well now. And so you don't have to overthink it, just kind of play with it, you know. And once it starts hardening up, you can kind of squeeze it, you can push it down, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. Hey JC, how you doing? Alright, so I'm gonna put this in the garage. Now it's time to clean up so I can start working on Harley. Alright. Hey Raphael, how's it going? Well, that's good, as long as you made it through the season. Alright, gotta make sure you seal up your freeform air because you don't want it to dry out on you. And plus, cleaning this stuff up is always a pain in the ass. So let me get my camera. Getting so much spam calls. I'm doing good, hanging in there, getting stuff done. Hopefully things are good on your end. Okay, so basically, like I said, these brushes go to hell when you use it with this stuff. So these two I didn't use, but these three I did. Like, for some odd reason, the chemical in that freeform air just destroys the brushes. So now, because I use sand with it and stuff on that base, I try to take all this off. Try to keep my desk as clean as possible. Hey Jacob, just got done working on this rogue base, and I'm gonna start pulling out Harley Quinn at the moment. Trying to take all this off, roll all this up, make sure none of that sand gets all over the place. If there is any little sand residue, just take all that off. Okay, so that's a good little start with the base. Let that cure up, and then I can start tweaking it out. I'm gonna wash my hands real good now. Okay, so we can put her aside. Take this out of the way. Alright, so we got two booties sort of to work on. So this is the Harley Quinn. We're going to work on her little underwear wrinkles there. And then this is a Wonder Woman custom I'm doing for somebody, so I kind of did the same thing. So I got to work out her trim for her underwear and her front. I got to do the boots. I reworked her chest, added the neck. So I got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, that's right, JC. I almost forgot about the hurricane. I know a couple people out there, but from when I talked to them, they said they were doing okay, so. It's the Vampirella one where she was standing. The one that had that leaning issue. So I started it a long time ago, but it wasn't up on rotation. It was just a broken item. So she was actually hollow. Like her whole body is almost hollow. So I filled her up with resin, and then I added a rod so you could see it sort of bent there, and then it was kind of like broken over here. So I added this rod bent up all the way up her leg, so this way it doesn't bend. So, and then also her foot and stuff was not lined up correctly, so I had to actually sand down her foot. But it's a good sculpt. So I think it'll be look pretty cool once I'm done. Alright, sorry, just checking some emails. Alright, so we got our stuff. Let's get our sculpts. Hey Chris, how's it going? I'm hanging in there, just plugging away at work, getting ready for the winter, and that's pretty much it. Kind of quiet lately, which is good. So Chris, you pretty excited with the New York show with some of your stuff going to be on display? I wish I was actually going to see it, but if by chance whoever you're dealing with actually has stuff for Baltimore Con, I might be going to that. Iceman, I honestly don't care. I mean, don't get me wrong, Hugh Jackman was good for Wolverine, but I don't really care because it was so toned down. Like Logan, the last Wolverine, when he started slashing people, that's what I wanted Wolverine to do all those years, so they did it at the end. So if they make it really dirty and crazy and cutting everybody up, I'll be happy. But I'm just so jaded with these Marvel movies now, I don't really care. Oh, he will, Chris? He'll be at the Baltimore Con? If he is, I'm going to definitely check it out. Have to keep me posted if that happens. You know what it is, Iceman? It's Phase 5 is all like Marvel stuff that I don't care about. Alright, Chris. I just thought I'd ask if he was going to the Baltimore one. Well, I hope you do well at the New York show. Hopefully your agent gets the word out more on your artwork. Should be a lot of people there too, so I'm sure a lot of people will see it. Yeah, that's all they make is Batman stuff. Wolverine and Batman. But it sells for the companies. Alright, I'm gonna go roll this out. Be right back. Hey, don't get me wrong, I love comic books. The movies just aren't really the comic books I've read. They're just kind of like mix match and it's just Hollywood stuff. Okay, so this stuff's got all that gunk on there. You know what it is too? I think it's what the Russo brothers are not doing the Marvel movies anymore, if I'm correct. And I think that's what those two is what made the Marvel movies amazing. But now that they're gone, I'm pretty much not feeling them anymore. I am right though. Isn't it the Russo brothers are gone from Marvel? Didn't they like stop making them? Yeah, that's what I heard, Jacob. So like I said, I think once the Russo brothers left, that's kind of when Marvel pretty much ended for me. It just doesn't seem like what we've been watching all this time is really all that good. It's like it's almost becoming like DC, where everything is just kind of like all over the place. I don't know. I think the last Marvel thing I saw was probably Moon Knight. I think that's the last thing I watched. Yeah, the Justice Society is in Black Adam, but not the characters I loved. Like, I wish Jay Garrick was there, Power Girl, Stargirl, like the JSA that I read with Jeff Johns. Like, if they took the Jeff Johns storyline of JSA, where it was kind of like Superman from Kingdom Come came into the 616 or universe. No, not that's Marvel. I'm talking to Earth 1. That whole storyline with Jeff Johns from JSA was absolutely amazing. That would make a great movie, but the problem is they would be like, well, no one knows Kingdom Come, so they don't want to do the movie, blah, 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 you know. Justice Society was pretty much the first team. They were from Earth 2, but then they merged with Earth 1. It's kind of a long story, but I mean, they put in that Cyclone character, which is kind of like you know, she has the power over like hurricanes and stuff, whatever. She was kind of like a really crappy character in the comic. She was like a real noob. She was like a kid that was just starting out to be a hero. She really wasn't all that interesting. So I don't know why they threw her into the movie. Sometimes I don't know what they're thinking when they actually pick a character to be in a movie. Yeah, the old JSA team I think is way better than the Justice League. You know, Justice League is your typical Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, but the JSA is the old school guys. You know, I just always, and plus Jeff Johns, who wrote them, just was an amazing writer on them. Absolutely love their stuff. Yeah, if you want some good DC stories, read Kingdom Come from DC. Kingdom Come is an amazing storyline. And then if you read Jeff Johns' JSA, Justice League series, it sort of ties into it. And it's a really, really great story. I would love to see a Golden Age JSA team based off of Jeff Johns' story. Yeah, they probably will go bankrupt, and maybe somebody else will pick up the IP, because I guess they're going to start selling their IPs out, or I mean licensing out. So maybe somebody will pick something up and make a really good movie or show or something. Honestly, I don't even really care about a show or a movie. I just want to read comics again. So if they can get someone like Jeff Johns back on there, which they are actually, he's actually coming back to write some JSA books, and I got him on order. See, he knows the characters. That's what I liked about him. He knows their history. He knows their personalities. He just doesn't shoehorn in all this other political crap. That's all I want to read. Yeah, but like I said, I think DC is going to outsource their comics now. That's the rumor. Yeah, McFarlane is the rumor that he's going to take over DC, but I'm not sure if that's legit yet. If he does, I have faith in him. I just hope he hires some really good writers on these characters. Like I said, I'm down to read comics again. I'm down to buy them and read them again, but it's just who's ever writing this stuff these days do not know these characters. Trying to make this look like it's riding up her crack pretty well, like the artist did. Even though some of it we won't see. I know it's McFarlane's Spawn books are really hot right now because he's doing that that Batman Spawn series. So yeah, I've watched a couple of his videos too, Jacob. All these new writers do not know the characters at all. they just start shoehorning in like, well, I think this character is this now, and I think this character does that, and that character has never done that stuff in any of the history of, like, you know, it's not their personality. And you're like, why the hell is this character doing this? He doesn't do it. Yeah, that's kind of what they're doing now with comics. It's just activism. It's not actually stories and heroes versus villains. But we've talked about this plenty of times before. Actually been rereading the old JSA books as it is anyway. It's always good to go back and read some of the old stuff once in a while. But I sold all my Spawn books because they're so hot right now on eBay. So that's going to help fund my studio. I mean, not my studio, my display room. Once I get that rolling. Actually, I think if some of these writers actually read some of the old books, especially like the cosmic stuff from Marvel, a lot of the stuff they complain about that's not in comic books today was actually in comics back in the day. Believe it or not. But like you said, nobody reads the old stuff, so they don't even know. Alright, I think that rides up like the guy's artwork. Because once we kind of cover it going over this way with the outfit, I'll have to sand some of this down probably. Actually, I just kind of take it down now, probably. So the outfit's going to come here and up, so this is going to be not seen as much. Yeah, Raz, I wish I, like I said, I can't show that artwork on YouTube. They won't like it, but I think this should work pretty well. Just want to take it inside a little bit more. So this way, when I wrap it around there, it'll look like it's pretty much taunt. Yeah, it's once again, it's like this time of the year ramps up. So I got hit with like 5 copyright strikes for music that is actually royalty-free music. So another 5 hit me this past week. So I don't know what the hell's going on with their setup. Somebody must be scamming the system because the person I have the music on says the music is not on you know, any copyright lists. So, and they're old videos too. They're not like it's a new video I put up. Okay, I like that. That works. So we got a good start on her now. So I guess we're gonna have the open zipper. So far on Patreon, this is the vote for the open. So this is done. I'm gonna have to work on this next, and then we can start building out the outfit. I'm gonna have to sand some of that down so this when we wrap it around there. But looking at the wrinkles, I think that works pretty good. The way he drew the booty with the thong going in there like that, it's kind of how he drew it, so that should work pretty well. So now I gotta do Wonder Woman. So we're gonna see how this works out. So let me go cut another piece. Probably should do a longer piece to go all the way around. I might only do one side now and then another side another time. I think I'm gonna make a longer one. Do the left side first in case I could do the other side. So let's see what happens. Hey, butterfly. Wow. 16 days away, huh? And then what? Another year you're gonna become president? Well, that's cool. Hopefully it works out for you, butterfly. Hopefully you get in there and you stick it to the man. Just make sure if you go to any parties, you watch where your drinks are. You don't want to get blackmailed. You don't want them spiking your drink and you end up somewhere and then they blackmail you. That's how they get all these politicians. So watch your back. I know that sounds like X-Files, but that's what they do. Yeah, you always hear stories of how somebody gets into politics and then all of a sudden they're blackmailed, and you wonder how they get blackmailed, you know? They probably spike their drinks, end up in the hotel room with somebody, and then all of a sudden there's pictures all everywhere, and then you're blackmailed. Watch your back. Make sure you have somebody watching your back. Yeah, you know, they always say that what happens in TV is just telling you the truth, but they just say, oh, you saw that in a movie. But that's what happens. That's how they get you. That's how they brainwash you. Oh, you watch too many movies. That doesn't happen. The best way to hide it is in plain sight. And never give in to the Twitter crowd. They start clamoring for something, you don't, and it's not for the people, you don't care. Just don't listen to Twitter. Twitter's not real. What are you gonna do? A binge this weekend, Iceman? Just play some games all weekend? It's kind of cold where the weather kind of... It's almost like a good weekend for binging games. Yeah, I need to take a trip down to the LBI beach by me soon because its season's gonna close up soon. I gotta go get some was it clam chowder and also hot sauce from the chicken or the egg place. They got amazing sauce down there. I need to stock up for the winter. I've actually been wanting to buy a Switch to play the Zelda game, but I just don't have the time. I would end up buying it and never play the damn thing. I think my days of video games are over. Although I do want to try Street Fighter 6, but I'm gonna wait to see what my friend says on it. I used to live on playing Street Fighter 4 and watching the Street Fighter 4 matches non-stop. I love Street Fighter 4 era. So much going on, so many tournaments, the matches were amazing, and Street Fighter killed all that. I don't care what anyone says, Street Fighter 5 killed the Street Fighter game. The game was too dumbed down and boring to watch. Never really got into Smash, even though I watched some of the matches at Evo back in like 2015 when I went, I think it was. It was okay, but that's just not a game I can get into. I would play Street Fighter 4 again if it was if my systems were popular and playing it, because all I got is an Xbox 360 and PS3. But maybe when Street Fighter 6 comes out, it'll bring back the game. They don't dumb it down again. Yeah, guys over in Japan are a beast. But once Street Fighter 4 became worldwide, people from all over the world were just amazing players. So it wasn't just limited to one country anymore. You know, there was guys from France that were kicking ass. There was guys from Germany. I mean, it was Street Fighter 4 just was an amazing explosion of fighting games again. And everybody was just playing them, and it was just crazy. It was a great time. I mean, it really was. I think every day at lunchtime I would grab lunch and I would run to the Xbox 360 and would hop on and get some matches with my friend for about like 20 minutes. And then I would get off and get back to work, and then later that night I would get back on and play again. I mean, it was just non-stop playing Street Fighter 4. It was a great time. And then it wasn't really dying out, but once they released Street Fighter 5, it killed everything. It was funny, I went to Vegas to the Evo, and I brought a monitor with me in my luggage, and my other friend bought his PS3, and we brought our sticks. So not only did we enter into the Evo contest, we were playing Street Fighter in person finally, like in the hotel. Oh, it was funny as hell. It was a great time. Because my one friend's in Florida, the other friend's in Texas, so you can only play online with each other. Street Fighter 6 I'm still a little bit concerned about because they have that option where it's like dumbed down easy mode. Even though you don't get to use the technical stuff in that mode, that scares me for online play, because if you're playing somebody that could just smash a button that's automatically doing all these moves, for somebody who knows how to online play, it's probably going to kill it. See, I think the reason why Street Fighter 5 killed the whole fighting scene was because they listened to the crybabies of Street Fighter 4, and Street Fighter 4 people always had people crying, oh, it's too hard, I can never win. But it was a game you had to put time and effort into it and really learn. So Capcom people fired, or the main people who made Street Fighter 4 left, like Seth and them, and then they hired in these other people, and they were doing all these like every time they had a tournament, they would do these like forums, like, oh, what can we do to make Street Fighter 4 better? And it was just crybaby saying, make it easier, and then Street Fighter 5 came out, and I remember playing it at New York Comic Con, and literally I just smashed the controller with a couple buttons, and I did this crazy combo, and I beat the guy, and I was like, I don't even know what I did. And I just knew right then and there that they dumbed it down. Because Street Fighter 4, even though it was like really technical and you had to put a lot of time into it, even though people bitched, people still played it. You know? It was like one of those hate-love games. People were like, oh, it's so damn hard, but you just kept playing and playing and playing. And sometimes you start learning stuff and you get better. Oh, JC, that's probably Mortal Kombat, I think. Oh, wait, no, I think Street Fighter 5 did that. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Street Fighter 5 did that. Like I said, I didn't play Street Fighter 5 at all. I tried it at New York Comic Con, and it was just basically the core engine. If you play fighting games long enough, I've been playing Street Fighter since Fighting Street, the very first Street Fighter, as a kid. Then to Street Fighter 2 and on. When you play the core game mechanics, if you can feel that the game core mechanics are shit, then you know the game is going to be shit. So when I tried Street Fighter 5 at New York Comic Con, I was like, this game is bad. And that's why I didn't play it or even consider trying to play it. I think video game companies have listened to too many of the crybabies, and everything has become so dumbed down. That's kind of why I stopped games. Because I loved like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta. Because you actually had to sit there and learn the combos, you had to learn the boss fights, and then all of a sudden, when you go to a boss fight, it tells you to hit the triangle, it tells you to hit 0, it tells you to hit this. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing? This is a boss fight, I'm supposed to learn combos. I know I must sound like an old fart, but I just like the way the games used to, you know, you pay $70 for a game and you would have hours upon hours of trying to learn how to play it. Now it's like after 4 or 5 hours you already beat the game and you're done. I probably should buy a Switch so I can try the Bayonetta 2 and also Bayonetta 3 coming out. I love those games, so I'm kind of curious if it's worth it. Now I need Bayonetta because I'm getting that one statue, so... But like I said, I don't have time for this stuff anymore. Maybe one day if I pay off my house, then I'm pretty much retired. I can get into this stuff again. Be like an old fart at the old fart's home, just playing Bayonetta all day. Okay, I think that works pretty good for a start on her outfit. Oh, my favorite character is Rose. That's my go-to character since Alpha 2. She was an Alpha 2, yeah, Alpha 2. And then when they put her in Street Fighter 4, I absolutely fell in love with her again. Street Fighter 3, I kind of just used everybody. Street Fighter 3, I never took serious. And then after Rose is Dan. I absolutely love Dan. So Rose and Dan are absolutely great to use. There's a lot of characters you can make from Street Fighter that the companies will never touch because they figure it's like Street Fighter has become like DC and Marvel. You only make Akuma, Chun-Li, Ryu, Ken, one random character, then you go back to Cammy, Akuma, Ryu, and then you go back to Chun-Li, and then you make a random character, and then you quit the line. Hey Alfonso, how's it going? Alright, so put her this. Came up with the idea to use an old Bucky base. So this is the old Bucky from Bowen. So I think it's here. Yeah. So that's kind of what we came up with this one. Not a bad base for Wonder Woman. Yeah, it's going fine over here for now. Just plugging away on stuff. Checking some emails real quick. Bunch of stuff came in. Let's see what's going on here. Alright, so that's done. That's done. Let's see. Alright, so I sort of sanded down Psylocke. So I got this sanded down, cleaned up a bit. So I got to do the front of her now. So I'm going to try to work out some of this stuff here. See if I can get this cleaned up today. I think this A's is starting to toughen up too much. So since the A's is toughening up, we have our Wonder Woman base as filler. So I'll just take some of this, just smush this down in here. Alright, sorry, just checking some messages. Got to meet my friends tomorrow to drop off the Jubilee statue. Jacob, the first Wonder Woman, it doesn't really suck. I just think that what happened was the factory, they produced so many, so the factory sort of screwed up a lot on the molding and casting. I mean, the way I tell people is, say you bought this statue here of Psylocke, right? And you own it, and you love it, and you want to make it a one-of-a-kind and repaint it and stuff, then send it to someone like me. But if it's, you just like the statue, but you don't really care about making it like a one-of-a-kind and you want to just get another one, Does that make sense? Is that what you're asking? Grab something. Jacob, the way I see things and the way I tell clients is, if you like a statue and you want to repaint it and make it a holy grail, go that route. If you like a character but you don't like the statue, but you like a different statue but you want that character to be turned into that statue, spend your money on that. Because I try to tell a lot of people I work with, try not to overspend on stuff. Like, if you're always buying a statue where, you like it, but you don't love it, but you like it, you don't love it, and you're just buying them, you're kind of stocking up on stuff you don't really love. So if instead of buying 5 mediocre statues that you don't love, pull your money together and get a nice one-of-a-kind statue you do love. So if you like this Harley Quinn, but you don't like the outfit and you want to change it, then change it, you know? That's the way I look at the hobby. I don't want to... My mistake is, when I was collecting Bowen statues, is I was buying every cheap bust and statue I can get, and then one day I looked at my shelf and I was like, I love the sculpts, but I don't know any of these characters. So I did a massive purge and I cut down to the stuff I love. And I think a lot of new guys that come into the hobby, they're like, oh, that's a cool statue, I'm going to buy that, I'm going to buy that, I'm going to buy that, you know? And then all of a sudden you're like, well, I don't love them. Jacob, at that point, what you're asking for is, do you really want to spend all the money to fix up that statue? You know what I'm saying? So if you like the statue, you sort of like the body build, you just don't like certain things, you can change it. But say you like the Deja Thors that's sitting down more, and you want that changed into Wonder Woman, then I would say spend your money on go that route. So, like, for instance, the guy that's asking me to change this into Wonder Woman is because he likes the sculpt and in the pose. He just didn't like Vampirella, so he wants it into Wonder Woman. So, at that route, I say, you know, go with what you want. Terrell, I guess the Facebook crew is. I guess I see that on the Facebook groups. You know, it's like, hey, look, I got this statue, but half of the time some people don't even know who that character is. Well, look at how I collect. I like Power Girl, you know, and I like Kid Flash and stuff, so I'd rather just make the statue that I like of that pose into that character. Instead of buying 10 different characters I don't like, I'd rather just make my own character I do like. So if I was a Wonder Woman fan, like a big Wonder Woman fan, you know, I don't think I would like to keep the first Wonder Woman or second Wonder Woman. I would actually want a pin-up Wonder Woman. So, like the Deja Thor sitting on the couch with all the pillows would be like a Wonder Woman I would want to make, you know? Yeah, that's why I try to brainstorm with people when I work with them on stuff. I try to say, hey, like, you know, some people want, like, this character. Like, say somebody wants, let's pull a character. Like, say Stargirl, you know, like Stargirl from JSA. So she's a little bit younger girl. So do you want to make it a pinup version? Do you want to make it like a Wonder Woman type version? You know, it's hard to say because everyone's different. Some people, you know, they love the first Wonder Woman and they just want it repainted. Other people like the second one. Some people don't even like either one, but they like this version and they want that turned into Wonder Woman. I don't know. It's all preference, really. Depends on how much you want to spend, what you want to do. I always try and brainstorm with people and try to give them the best options, what can be done, what can't be done. I mean, the work on the statue is the work, you know, that's not going to change. It's just a matter of what item you want done. Honestly, if I wasn't able to do what I do with what here, I would pull my money together and get somebody to make like grails for me. See, that's the problem, Jacob. So if you like the face and you like this, but everything else is a mess, it's not really a good statue, you know? Don't forget, this stuff is sculpted in a way where the skeleton and muscles are bent a certain way. So you can't really break that stuff to a point to fix it the way you want, because if you move a leg or you want to shift a hip, that doesn't go with the rest of the structure and it'll look weird. So that's what I tell people, because sometimes people ask me, hey, I want this statue, but I want you to, and I'm like, well, you can't do that because the torso is bent a certain way, and if you move the arm this way, it'll look weird. So you are limited to what you can and can't do with these items. So, I mean, I don't know if I showed you last stream. I do have that Wonder Woman, the first one. So I can sort of explain it. So this is the Wonder Woman you're talking about, right? And what I did is I reworked her chest. The arm was broken already, so I actually have my friend Meta John printing an arm for me. So the arm is going to be bent like this, like fisted, and then this arm over here is going to be like that. But to break this leg and put it this way is not going to really work because the way the muscles are. And if you break this way, then this foot would look weird, and it would look weird, her thing coming this way, you know. So it's kind of hard to really say what you can and can't do, you know. Like this arm, like if you look at her, the way this arm and muscles are situated in a way where this arm is supposed to be extended. So if you try to bring this arm down, I got to rework the shoulder and sort of around here with the the collarbone. You know, same thing with this one. If you were to lift this up, you'd have to rework the collarbone and stuff. But I'm using this head for her. So this head's going to be like that. So I thought about breaking this leg, but honestly, that's not going to really work. You know? Yeah, this leg is an angle, but the way they sculpted it was like she was like pushing, like she's kind of like kicking that stuff off the pillar. So the only way to really fix this is really you would have to chop it here and twist it, but even then you'd have to rework the muscles a bit. But then this foot might look a little weird if this is straight down but the foot is this way. So this would have to be broken. So you're talking about repositioning a lot of stuff on her, which is like, so the way this looks, if you twist this down, it'll look wrong because the leg has to actually turn this way. Like the knee would have to turn this way. So honestly, something like this, I would be like, it's not really worth messing around. The arm is okay because you could kind of tweak this area here a bit, but this I don't think would work. Yeah, you could, if you break off a leg and resculpt it and really rebuild some of the muscles, it can be done. I don't know how it would work though, you know. I thought about breaking this one at one point, but then I was like, that's just too much work because you'd have to chop it here, turn it there, resculpt some of this muscles in here, and then this probably would have to be broken down a bit. Yeah, it's doable. I'm not saying it's not. It's doable, but it's a shitload of work. And at that point, I'm like, do you really want to go that crazy for this statue? Honestly, it all depends. Is it worth it? Now, that's a question. Whereas, is it worth it for you to spend the money that someone like me or somebody else would quote you on it, you know? So if I gave you a quote, do you feel it's worth it for you? Now, as me as customizing it, it doesn't bother me because that's what you want. You know, I would give you what you want, but it depends on if you want to spend that amount of money. You know, I always tell people when I work with them, not trying to get work, but just trying to tell them straight up like, hey, let's make what you want, let's make your holy grail, and this way, you know, the money you're spending for it, you be happy. If you're just doing it just for the hell of it, and it's like you're not really caring, then do you really want to spend that money? So it's never really worth it to me, it's worth it to you, if you want it. Jacob, I've done that in the past where I've used body parts from other statues, and it is doable. You just got to make sure that the parts you use are fit the other statue, you know. But, you know, if you're buying two statues to make one, and you're going through all this work, and if it's a Holy Grail character, just like hire a sculptor at that point and sculpt like a really amazing item and then just print it out, you know? Like I tell people, I'm sort of the cheaper option, you know, instead of like spending like a couple grand on a sculptor, and then a couple grand on a printer, and then however much it is to paint it. You know, you just buy a statue and you repaint it, and it's kind of a cheaper option. What I do. Yeah, I tell people all the time, like, you know, if you want a Holy Grail, just get your Holy Grail made. I got a friend who's doing that, actually. He's commissioned a couple sculptors, and he's making his Holy Grail items. So instead of spending like all this money on these Facebook statues or other statues, he's getting his Holy Grails made, and then he's gonna have them printed out, and he's done. Well, Jacob, you could always send me an email, and I'll definitely like brainstorm with you. You know, if there's other statues out there you like say you like a Catwoman statue, or you like Deja Thoris, or you like the Starfire statue, and you think that would make a better Wonder Woman, we can brainstorm, and I'll let you know if it works. Terrell, I don't know about head sculpts. You'd have to contact the sculptor and see. Everybody's different, you know. Some guys could charge you an arm and a leg, and other guys might charge you a couple bucks. I don't know. Yeah, Terrell, I would just hop on like Instagram and start looking at sculptors and and just shoot them messages and see what they would charge you. You know, like I said, everybody's different, so I can't like say what people will and what will charge. I just don't know. Terrell, in the past when I've like during the lockdowns, I was kind of debating on doing like a Grail Power Girl for myself. You know, there's a specific pose I want done. So I was hitting up guys on Instagram for pricing and like their availability. I was asking them are they up to changes because I heard some sculptors out there like you just pay me a fee and I sculpt it the way I want it. You know. Then there's other sculptors who are like, well, I'll work with you and we'll kind of come up with a good idea. And then there's other guys who are all, like, once the sculpt is done, if you want to change anything, they'll charge you extra. So you gotta kind of like, you gotta ask the sculptor of like what their, you know, how they work. Everybody's different. Yeah, you see what the range is. You also got to get a feel for their work ethic. You know, are they, you know, are they on time with their sculpt? Are they gonna disappear? It's a gamble. You know, did you pay them? Did it take 5 years for it to come out? I don't know. See, like, it's very... The hobby is very, out there, in a sense. That you hear horror stories, and then you hear other guys are the most amazing people to work with. So I can't say what's what. Oh, hey Jose. I forget who. Oh, it's Razor Studios produced this Psylocke. Razor Studios, I think it was. I did a review on it. I think it was Razor. One thing weird that I've heard about some of these sculptors is that if you commission them to do a sculpt and you're gonna do like a couple, like a run to sell it, they get like, not only do they get paid for their sculpting fee, they get paid per sculpt you sell too. I don't know, I've heard some weird rumors about that, which I've never heard that before in the hobby, but I think it's a thing now. Like, I'm from what I remember, you would just hire a sculptor, you would pay them, and then that's it. It's your item to do what you want with it. But now, if you sell copies, you have to give them a fee. I don't know, it's very strange. Well, that's what I've heard with some of the Facebook stuff. Now, you guys could correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a little bit weird to me. Like, usually, you know, when you, like I remember in art school when you would do an illustration and you would sell it to a company, you would set up a fee that once you sell it to them, that's their property, even though they give you credit for it. But now, if you're like a top artist and you're selling art for like $50,000 a piece, you can dictate your terms, like Olivia de Barnes and stuff like that. But some of these guys are doing other stuff, which is strange. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not on Facebook, so this is just the stuff I hear. Hey, what's up, White Devil? How's it going? Weren't you streaming before? I think I missed it earlier. I am tweaking this Psylocke kit. So I redid her booty, and I'm doing the front of their outfit now. It was casted up pretty weird, so before I start painting her up, I wanted to make it look better. Then I'm gonna do a paint series on it. Actually, you would probably like this. I don't know if you have seen it, but we're gonna be where is it? So we're taking this Harley statue and we're making a Ghost in the Shell. So so far I worked out her undies, worked out her booty back here, and then we're gonna start doing her outfit, like the Photoshop that I came up with. So this should be a fun, the patrons kind of vote this one for the patrons' choice. So this should be a kind of a cool Harley Quinn what if. A little bit each week on Fridays. Yeah, down the line. As always, patrons get first dibs, and then after that, if none of the patrons want it, it'll go up on my site or eBay. Alright, that's it's gonna be a little bit tricky underneath here, but it's definitely better than what it was. Yeah, I didn't like the way it was originally with that weird thing here, but now, way better. Gotta clean it up a bit. I don't know, I think this piece up here that I did looks fine, but I don't know if I should fill this in with something to make it look like it's sort of armor, or I think I should leave it alone. Oh, so last time we did the base, so it worked out pretty well. Basically, you just pop her in now, and her foot sits in there pretty good. So, no issues. The magnet's stuck in there. I gotta just sand this area down a bit, but this goes in there perfectly fine. Alright, so I don't want to waste my Aves. Her foot is going to be hitting around here somewhere. So I figure I'll use this Aves up here. So this way, if I need to chop something, it'll be a little bit more sturdy. There. Still got a debate on the right arm, if I'm going to use the other one or if I'm going to keep this one. She definitely looks better with that better booty than what it was. I got a little bit of cracking and cleaning to do, I think. This is the hair that I'm going to change. I'm gonna resculpt hair to come up with something better. But I like the head though. So I'm gonna keep the hair going over there, but maybe do a flow. So I think I'm gonna have to change her arm Because the other arm actually comes in front, like here. So I think I might have to use the other arm. Unless, I don't know, I gotta figure something out on this. I don't want to pop out the box parts right now because it's a pain in the ass to get all that stuff out of there. So, the problem is if I use her side blade, it'll hit the hair. But I like her having the side blade and the side sword. But yeah, changing up, getting the boob socks out of there, and then fixing up this area in here and stuff, it looks a lot better. I'm going to give her a thick sash. I'm going to give her like a nice thicker sash to kind of cover some of this stuff. She had a ponytail raccoon. I don't really remember too much of the ponytail. Let me take a look. What error would that be? I don't know. I just want to try something different, but I need to. But the thing is, though, I have to keep hair go over her face here because there's no sculpt down that part of the face. Oh, the other project. So this is a Vampirella statue. And somebody was having me change it into Wonder Woman. So I redid her chest, I attached her neck, I attached the arm, and then today I did the booty. So I reworked her booty to make it more like it's tight instead of like, you know, basically how underwear should be a little bit tight. And then I got to do her boots. So I got a little bit more to go on that, but that's going to be Wonder Woman. Yeah, if you look up Sideshow Vampirella, you'll probably find that one. Let me take a look. So Jim Lee 90s. Let's see, Jim Lee Psylocke. Actually, she doesn't have an ear though over here, does she? Nah, she doesn't have an ear over there. Otherwise, I would do this other out. The problem is I suck at doing ears. How about something like this? A little bit more stylish. So maybe what I could do is I can actually still cover up the this side of the face, you know? I can still cover up this side of the face but have like a little bit of a swirl coming down. Something like that. Yeah, I don't want Jim Lee look on this really because it's not really based off Jim Lee. So I kind of want to do my own take on the hair. But like I said, there's I gotta cover the face one way or the other. Yeah, I liked Joe Mad's artwork back in the 90s too. I collected a lot of his X-Men work. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with like my own little style of swooped hair. So I think I'm gonna run that route on that one. I just love this face sculpt though, compared to the other two heads, because I'll never display the other two heads. So she's got enough of a face here. So you can see they cut it right there at her eye. So I could actually kind of bring out the eye a little bit more. I could resculpt the area here, and I could kind of bring down the face around here, you know. I don't think they covered the lips, no. So yeah, I can actually bring this out a bit. You know, I'll have to do that one day when I'm not as tired as I am now, and kind of like focus on bringing out the eyelid again, and bring out the eyebrow, and then I can do the swoop. As long as I don't have to sculpt ears, I'm good. If I have to sculpt ears, I'm really horrible at that. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna bring this back to life. And then, so we can, where's the like pencil? So we can break the hair here instead. And I can bring the hair sort of like coming around there a little bit. And then we can kind of swoop this around here like that. It's not really, I appreciate that White Devil. It's not that. I just have a problem sculpting ears. I've practiced and practiced and practiced, and I just can't get them right. It's just not my strong point. So I rather just kind of hide her ears anyway. I like the way this covers like a lot of the face. So I think I can kind of fudge it a little bit my own way. We all have our ups and downs, and I think ears are kind of my downfall. But I'm getting better. The more I practice, the more I get better. But yeah, this face looks great. I love this sculpt because it's not a Jim Lee sculpt, and I like it because she's nice and thick. I just love the anatomy on her. She's got a nice figure to her. I just needed to tweak the booty. The booty was the problem. And so that's pretty much that stuff for the day. But Harley's looking pretty good. She's got a nice booty going. So I think all the booties are done on these statues. Next is starting to tweak them out. Alright, I am done for today. I gotta get ready for the weekend, but I appreciate everyone stopping by. Hopefully next week we'll have some more stuff ready to work on. But you guys have a good weekend, and if anyone's in Florida, hopefully you guys did well and you made out pretty good. So I'll see you guys next week.